everybody, my name is Rascal, and as you guys see, I am joined with a friend of the channel.
Hi, I'm IkaBlueEyes. You might recognize me from Twitch or anywhere on the internet. You can find me on TikTok and Twitter under those handles.
Links in the description if you want to go see his
Selfless promo, anyway.
Oh, and don't worry, I'll link your channel too.
Also, I know stuff about magic, maybe a little bit.
We both have been playing Magic for at least 10 plus years each.
Oh yeah, definitely. I started back in 4th grade.
I started way back in high school.
Oh wow.
If you remember.
Yeah, I didn't officially play Magic, I think, until high school, until we met. I think up until that point, I just had like dueler decks that I knew the basic rules of Magic, but I didn't really go any further until high school.
Yeah. So, this episode of Magi-Corner, or I guess this podcast episode of Magi-Corner, is going to be dedicated more to the red aspect of Magic, or the fire magic, however you want to put it.
Color theory.
Yeah, color theory. If you'll note from last episode, we talked about this, where we went over the broad strokes, and these next couple episodes that Cap and I are going to do are just going to be more of like an in-depth dive on each of those colors.
Yeah, hopefully.
So, a very red-aligned episode. Would you consider yourself probably the most prominent red or red-adjacent player?
Well, yes, it's actually one of the only colors I've stuck with as far as Magic goes. And I think up until recently, with the Azorius color, is the only deck I've built that has not featured red in it. Simply because, I mean, come on, red go burr.
Yep, red go burn, baby, burn too.
Also, yes, mainly my favorite thing to do to creatures is to remove them from the battlefield via fireball.
Perfect. And this episode is really going to be part on that episode, but it's also going to be part on something I absolutely hate as the color, and that's chaos. Red is just so prominent with chaos. I said, hey, I need a partner to come like be my opposite, since he plays red. I don't play red often. Like, Xerus is probably one of, if not the only decks currently that I have that's like solidly
red. You don't
red.
even run any really like red removal or anything except for Chaos Warp.
I don't. Yeah, that's like the only red thing I play, and that's Chaos Warp.
And you don't have a bolt. You call yourself a red player?
Yeah, no bolt. No
even
bolts.
In my Edgar Markov deck, come on, I have a bolt for a reason.
Is the best one drop. But this episode is mainly going to be dedicated to Chaos, since it is the most prominent aside from Burn or Haste.
Yeah, honestly, it's one of the only unique, really, facets of red, because unless you're talking about like straight up artifact hate or just pure damage, it's really, honestly, Chaos is the only other unique effect red has access to, because Impulse is becoming actually something recently that I really do appreciate as far as red goes, because it is giving it something new to play with, because outside of damage, red kind of just doesn't do much. You dump your hand to kill things or do damage, hopefully, enough. And it usually isn't enough.
Especially in Commander, when you have to get through 120
or
life.
Life gain.
Or, yeah, especially those players. But, as we mentioned earlier, this episode is going to be dedicated more to that chaosy side, the fiery passion that is red, to say.
Right.
So
you have a list of chaosy effects I can pulled up.
Yeah, I have them here, so let's go ahead and set our lines here for this one. I am completely against chaos. For obvious reasons that'll become obvious.
And I happen to freaking love the chaos effect.
So, the first one on our list today is Chaotic Transformation. 5 and a red for a sorcery, and it reads, exile up to 1 target artifact, up to 1 target creature, up to 1 target enchantment, up to 1 target planeswalker, and or up to 1 target land. For each permanent exile this way, its controller reveals cards from the top of their library until they reveal a card that shares a card type with it, puts that card onto the battlefield, then shuffles. That is a muzzle full of words.
TLDR, it basically says pick one of just every type of permanent on the battlefield, exile it, and then whoever exiles it has to chuck cards off the top of their library till they find something that's similar to what they exiled. And I just find this as, like, I don't know, I think it's a goofy effect, and I think it's perfect for those late game moments, especially because of how expensive it is. It's perfect for those late game moments when everybody has something to remove, and you don't have a removal spell, especially in red, for all of it. But now you do. The bad side about this is that you usually have a good chance of picking something from the top of their library that's even more dangerous and or much more of a problem than it was before.
Yeah, and that's my stance on it, honestly, because we don't know what's off the top. Because, like, if you get rid of someone's creature and they're playing, let's say it's Edgar Mudkov versus Xeris in this case. I have a bunch of tokens. He plays the spell. He gets rid of a few things off my board, at least the more problematic ones. And then, because one of them was a creature, oh look, Craterhoof Behemoth is right there off the top. And I haven't gone to combat yet.
Yeah, and so, I don't know, personally to me, I think this fits in the like, earn and burn strategy that, like, red has. Because, okay, yeah, sure, there's a probability that it could be a Craterhoof Behemoth, but it also could be a Llanowar Elves or something that's completely innocent, or even turning one of your really good lands, like, let's see, you have a World Tree. You turn that into a basic forest, and that's pretty freaking great, right?
Especially with all those, like, 3-color or more that rely on that heavy fixing.
Exactly. It's a great way to either shoot yourself in the foot, which, I mean, okay, listen, there's that probability of chaos magic. It just happens. Or it's really cool.
Alright, next card. Grip of Chaos is 4 red for an enchantment. Whenever a spell or ability is put onto the sock, reselect its target at random if it has a single target. I know I just showed it up on the screen, but I'll show you what it looks like.
Right.
It's old card.
It is indeed an old card, and this basically just works on, like, it's like an enchantment Wild Ricochet that procs every time someone puts something on the stack.
Yeah.
Which is bizarre, and I mean, it literally just relies on what everyone else plays, and if someone can remove it, it's not even that dangerous. But I mean,
I cast murder on your creature. Oh no, guess
what? I have a murder now too.
It's just something at random. I cast murder. How many creatures are over there? Xeris of 379. I guess number at that point.
Yeah, pretty much.
Alright. Now I'm gonna let you read this one. This one's recent. So we go from old to recent now.
Oh yeah, okay. So Wand of Wonder. For 3 and a red, it's an artifact. For 4 and tapping it, you roll a d20. Each opponent exiles cards from the top of their library until they exile an instant or sorcery card, then shuffles the rest into their library. You may cast up to X instant and or sorcery spells from among cards exiled this way, without paying for their mana cost. So if you roll 1 to 9, X is 1, 10 to 19, X is 2, and if you roll 20, X is 3. So, depending on what you roll, you can cast up to 3 cards from the top of their library for free. But it stops on the first, which is weird.
Well, keep in mind, it's also for Commander players like you and I. So
also, it's each player, so there's 4, in the pod, so you can actually cast up to every single one of those instants and or sorceries for free if you roll a 20.
Oh, yeah.
Yikes, that's a bizarre card.
So, pros?
Okay, listen.
Or the Yay Chaos.
Granted, again, this thing doesn't get removed really, really fast because it messes with other people's libraries. And it also just depends on what people have stacked in their decks. If you're playing with people who don't have anything very usable as instant and or sorcery, it's kind of not great. But you know it's an instant and or sorcery, or actually, you know what a sorcery is almost every time?
A board wipe.
A board wipe, which can save your ass a lot of the times if you're in a pinch. So, I mean, it's the Chaos player. It's literally the like, I'm throwing this and I'm not sure if it's going to hit anything, but if it does, it's going to look really cool.
That can't be further from the truth. The cons, obviously, on this is basically what you said.
It has a chance to whiff every day from Sunday.
It has so many chances to work. Oh look, Tulane, Teller of Tales. All of everything is a permanent.
Yeah, well, okay, see, and that also depends on your pod size, because if you're playing with just one other person, this card's going to whiff almost every single time. If you're playing with a full pod with 3 other people, you have a lot of cards to pick from. And
a lot.
If, chances are there's like a black player sitting there, I mean, you might get a free murder, and that always feels good. Especially when you're not in the color pipe for it.
Yeah. What? Perfect. you read this one.
So I didn't know this spell existed until recently. It's called Confusion in the Ranks for 3 red. It's an enchantment that reads, whenever an artifact, creature, or enchantment comes into play, its controller chooses target permanent and another player controls that shares a type with it. Exchange control of those permanents.
I'm looking at you.
End of story.
I'm looking at you, Norm the Wary.
I so want to build a Norm the Wary deck with this so bad because, like, it's just so stupid. Especially because it also reads that just anyone else gets to do it for the rest of the game until this is removed, which also might not happen, especially if everyone's down with stealing each other's lands and enchantments and stuff. Like, someone could steal this enchantment.
So, yeah, I'm trying to remove it now, Bum. It's not even mine. It's not my problem.
So goofy. It turns the rest of the game into a goblin fest. It's literally going to be like, well, I steal this from you. Oh, no, I'm going to steal that from you.
No, what it does is it turns a nice commander game with Xeris into okay, so let's see, I have this happen and then this happens. My commander is way over there. It's not even mine anymore. But then...
Well, okay, but if Xeris happens to stick on your battlefield with this enchantment...
That's what I'm talking about.
Every single creature is going to be like a yoink, 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 yoink. You get a 1/1 snake, you get a 1/1 snake, and I steal everything from your board.
I steal Edgar Markov. I steal Olivia Voltaire.
Exactly.
I steal your commander.
Exactly. So,
I'm sorry. Is your commander needed to actually run your deck?
This actually has a high chance to work against you, especially if you're playing against a token deck. But the thing is...
This is completely off. Norm the Wary decks versus Voltron.
Oh my god.
Voltron decks, for anyone who doesn't know, have one creature. It's the commander.
Usually, yeah. And any other creature that comes out usually just supports the equip strategy, which gets overwhelming really fast.
Norm the Wary and that enchantment, or just anything hitting the battlefield.
Literally, yoink,
shut them
yoink,
off.
Yoink, yoink.
The deck is no longer playable.
And then Norm the Wary just keeps coming back, and it's just like, yoink, 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 yoink. I'm just going to steal everything you play. The bad part about this is then, like, if you're playing against a token deck, you're literally just stealing their tokens. But they put out anything that's worth anything, and it's yours in a heartbeat if you play the right thing.
Avenger. Oh, sorry, I coughed. I think I said Avenger in there somewhere. I don't know.
Anyway, we'll move on. Oh, okay, I'll let you do this
yeah,
one.
this one I think we're going to switch on this one, because I personally love this card. You might hate it. This is called Scrambleverse for 6 red for sorcery that's somehow red, not a mythic. For each non-land permanent, choose a player at random. Then, each player gains control of each permanent for which he or she was chosen. Untap those permanents.
This just reads like...
Oh, Mr. Voltron player, I will give... I really want that, but I just want to shut you out of the game completely. So I'm just going to go ahead and take everything... You can have everything of mine. I don't give a shit about whatever mine is, but I'll take your one creature, You can take all my 1/1s that do 1 damage on your upkeep now. Here's all my lands, and I'm just gonna go ahead and take all yours. You probably don't have any lands in your hand anyway.
This card just literally reads like, you get to put the battlefield into a pan and scramble it, and then everyone just gets a weird cook of what's on the battlefield.
Hey Edgar, let's trade places.
Yeah, no. This is honestly, this is something I personally just wouldn't play. It's so freaking goofy that like it literally would never work in your favor. It's just like, screw the battlefield. It's literally like grabbing the table and flipping it. Like you're just rage quitting the game. And you might as well just do that.
It's like, there goes all my lands, my creatures, and you don't get them back.
It literally actively shoots you in the foot for every single thing. Like you do. I don't know. It's just.
Creature just Xeris is off in some corner going. It
just feels wacky.
That's it.
It's just wacky.
Gone in a heartbeat. Someone else has it.
Exactly. Oh no.
Oh boy, this one I think we both are going to agree is a hate card of everything. So let me introduce you people at home and you here by my side to Planar Chaos.
Oh, this already sounds bad.
2 and a red, so 3 mana in total for an enchantment. So it stays on there. At the beginning of your upkeep, flip a coin. So 50-50 shot. If you lose the flip, sacrifice Planar Chaos. However, whenever a player casts a spell, that player flips a coin. If he or she loses the flip, counter that spell.
Yo, that is completely bonkers. What? Any spell?
Any spell.
Oh, man.
Cast a creature, flip a coin. If you lose the flip, you get it gets counted.
The Chaos player played this.
Yup.
And it didn't counter a single spell.
It counted all of mine, is what it did.
Yeah.
All of mine.
I was safe the whole game, and that was crazy because like I basically get 2 creatures for 1 spell, and I was totally expecting a lot of spells to get countered. Not a single one got countered my way, and then you got hit in the face for all the damage, and I was like, wow. This is really working against only one person at the table.
Yeah, only one.
He died right after he took you out. And then Angel of Hope made the game not fun.
Yeah, you throw in Cork's Thumb, that's what it is, Cork's Thumb, and you get advantage. You get to flip 2 coins and keep one of the results.
That's right.
You will never lose this card if you have that.
Oh yeah, definitely. Alright. Warp World for 5 red. It's a sorcery. Each player shuffles all permanents he or she owns into his or her library, then reveals that many cards from the top of his or her library. Each player puts all artifact, creature, and land cards revealed this way onto the battlefield, then does the same for all enchantment cards, then puts all cards revealed this way that weren't put into the battlefield on the bottom of his or her library. That's amazing. So basically what it
Word
does...
soup is what it says to me.
It says... So let's just pick up
see your board.
the game.
This is what it says.
Let's reset it.
Do you see your board?
Mm-hmm.
You love your board, right?
Yes.
Fuck you. You shuffle it back into your deck and get a new board.
But what if I don't want to do that?
Do it anyway.
Oh. Yeah, exactly. That's what this card says. It basically says, you have a board? Yeah, fuck that board. It goes back into your library, and you pick a new board. All right, next card. Possibility Storm for 3 red.
This one.
It's an enchantment, so great. It sticks on the battlefield. When a player casts a spell from his or her hand, that player exiles it, then exiles the cards from the top of his or her library until she exiles a card that shares the type with it. That player may cast the card without paying its mana cost. Then he or she puts all cards exiled with Possibility Storm at the bottom of his or her library in a random order. It basically says, you have a plan? No, you don't.
Oh,
I'm going to invent a new plan for you, except it's randomly picked off the top of your library.
Hey, Edgar Markov, you love casting creatures. You love casting vampire spells, right?
I would love this spell. Please put it out, because it's like, oh, okay, I don't get that really cheap vampire spell that I really want to cast, but I get the next vampire spell for free.
oh, look at that. I'm going to trade in this little sappy 1/1 for I don't know,
It's like,
maybe
I might lose Knight of the Even Legion, but I definitely will take a captivating vampire in place of it.
I was gonna go with like Malakir Blood Witch, the one with the ETB effect.
If you have a lot of stacked field Malakir Blood Witch.
Oh
Boy.
You need to read this one.
Alright, Time Sifter. It is a 5 colorless artifact. At the beginning of each player's upkeep, each player removes the top card of his or her library from the game, aka exile. Bold text. Player who removed the card with the highest converted mana cost takes an extra turn after this one. If 2 or more players' cards are tied for highest cost, the tied players repeat this process until the tie is broken. Wow. Okay.
So this is what basically happens.
It basically just is like clash off with the card off the top of your library for an extra turn.
Basically. So, but here's the funny thing is, it gets wonky because it takes the normal turn order, whether you're going clockwise or counterclockwise, and it says, okay, player 1 goes first on their upkeep. We all clash off the top. And let's say player 3 is the winner. After this turn,
it's
take
their
one,
turn, and then on their upkeep,
it goes random every
so
time.
it hijacks the turn.
It hijacks the turn order.
So it's literally the only person who gets to go after them is the one who wins the clash at upkeep.
Oh, and here's a little fun tip. You could potentially stay the only player playing
if you play a bunch of high cost cards.
If you play a bunch of high cost cards and you win every single time.
But then that would be pretty lame. I mean, okay, you'd probably be playing Eldrazi. And then that would be like...
Go talk to Ika about that, you know.
So I take an extra turn and I drop Ulamog, and it's like, why did you take an extra turn?
Oh wait, it doesn't have haste. Guess what? I got an extra turn anyway. Upkeep. Oh, look at this.
Look at the top card of my library. It's It That Betrays. Oh boy. Alright, next card. Go for it. Can you read that?
Yes.
Okay.
Game of Chaos. This was pulled on me with...
Oh.
For red, so 3 map, flip a coin. Target opponent calls heads or tails while coin is in the air. The loser of the flip loses 1 life. The winner of the flip gains 1 life. And
you
may choose to repeat the process. Double the stakes each time.
I remember this. It almost killed both of you.
We both lost life, we gained some, and we just kept going more and more.
It was really, honestly, so me and, sorry for dropping your name, but Kyle were just like staring at each other like, are they going to keep going? Like, they just keep going, because then too, when one of them would win, they just keep upping the bet, and then it would pass to the other person, so then they'd be like, keep going until they win the bet. And like, you guys lost over 20 life in a turn?
Oh, we lost more than 20 at this point. We lost so much. We were gaining 40, but then losing like 50 or 80 afterwards. Like everyone was going up and down.
It was ridiculous. I think I remember I eventually just like got up and I went to the bathroom because I was like, this is going on forever.
We stopped it like shortly after you left the table. I'm going to give you a question. How many cards do you think have worthless abilities in red?
Ooh, sorry, red, but quite a few, actually. A lot of the discard effects usually aren't worth it.
What if I told you there's a card that has no effects in red? That's not a creature. Orange or permanent.
Not a permanent?
It's not a permanent. Effects. No effects. No deal 3 damage, no discard cards, no exile off the top, nothing.
That would have to be either an old card or a really weird card.
What if I told you it's only 5 years old?
Wow, I haven't heard of it.
So for Modern Horizons 2, that came out a while back, we have Theros of Chaos. For 3 in a red with 2 keywords. Cascade and Retrace. That's it.
That's right. What's Retrace to?
Retrace. You may cast this card from your graveyard by discarding a land in addition to paying its other costs.
Oh, wow. Interesting. So you can tap the mana.
And I think you are very well familiar with Cascade.
Yeah, absolutely. Cascade's fantastic.
For those who don't know, Cascade. But yeah, so what do you think of this one? It's basically the only effect would be Cascade, and you get something off the top for 3 or less.
Honestly, it's not bad. I think I would probably run it again with black if I had the red black color pairing.
Yep. But yeah,
Mispronounce
the
it.
card with no effects, it gets us something else from the top.
Yeah, it fetches
just
other
replace
things
it.
for you, and then you can recast it from your graveyard, which would go great with graveyard recursion, or you can kind of cheat the cost with,
Spells, and there's also spell slinger too.
Oh, that's true.
Cast this, get something off the top, just add more to that storm count.
True. And then, I mean, land sacrifice is pretty common in red.
Alright, for me, this next card breaks red, but doesn't break red like chaotically, if that makes sense. Like it would be more aligned with red and either blue or green, maybe black for this one, but it is Wild Magic Surge.
Oh, okay.
This one is very recent from Baldur's Gate. For a red instant, destroy target permanent an opponent controls. Its controller reveals cards from the top of their library until they reveal a permanent card that shares a card type with that permanent. They put that card onto the battlefield and the rest on the bottom of their library in a random order.
Right.
For me personally, it's I destroy an enchantment, but you get one right back, and it's destroy. Too.
Yeah.
Red does not destroy enchantments. Like, they have very, very, very small things for enchantments. Same with black. But what gets me is that it's destroy something and then you get something back to replace it. The exact same card type. The Enchantress player has a very troublesome enchantment that's holding everybody down. I destroy it, but now we have to deal with one that just made the situation worse.
Right. And I see the deal with destroying it, but I mean, it's not necessarily removed from play, kind of like Chaos Warp does. It's not necessarily removed from play, it's just shuffled into your library, so it does have a chance to come back. But I mean, this one just like straight up is like, that does not come back to the battlefield. You get something like it though, which would be great in a lot of situations, but I do see what you're saying. Like, it does, like, okay, Chaos Warp has a chance to just simply, you do not get that because it's an instant or a sorcery.
Yeah, the reason why I love Chaos Warp more than this one, and everybody for some reason on Reddit is just singing this card's praise and saying, oh, it keeps to Red's pie philosophy and everything else like that, and it's just far better than Chaos Warp because it costs one less. But how I'm looking at it is, like I said earlier, you get rid of a problem and now you have a bigger problem. Like, especially when you're going with either Voltron decks, you destroy, in order to go up against the creature, you have to destroy something that's attached to it. Oh no, they have something on the battlefield that just says straight put it onto a creature, or onto that one creature. You destroy equipment. Guess what? They get some bigger equipment or some more resilient equipment goes right back on it. And
I think this spell, so the problem here is that this spell has to be used in specific circumstances. It can't just be used willy-nilly quite like a Chaos Warp, because otherwise you do have a bigger fire. But I also think it does stick to color pie, because I mean, destroy effects aren't super common, but destroy effects, I mean, might as well be a part of Red's color pie. I mean, what is it? Misium Mortars that does 6 damage to a creature if another creature died.
This one?
Exactly. It should be removal with the amount of damage it does. Blasphemous Act.
But if you know on these spells, they're all very damage based. For sure, that's definitely Red's thing. Red is just punch you in the face with everything until you die.
For when it comes to artifacts and or sometimes enchantments. There are a few spells, like I think it's Shatter is like 1 in a red.
Yeah, here it is. Yeah, there it is.
So it does stick to color pie. Just destroying target permanent is kind of. I'd be more comfortable.
When it goes to the broad spectrum of anything, that's where I think for me it breaks its own color.
I mean, well, it's okay. Specifically, Red struggles with removal, and I think this gives them a valuable tool. I think, however, it would be nice to have it restricted maybe to, like, non-land permanents?
Yeah.
Because it does just say permanent.
Yeah.
Or like non-land,
But I think-
non-creature permanent.
I am okay with at least the any permanent type because red does have land destruction that does say destroy target land on it.
That's true, but it's
But-
really rare and it's kind of out of date.
Yeah, like very out of date.
So, I mean, I just also don't want to see land destruction come back because it's not fun.
Oh, now watch that. Watts is probably gonna watch this video.
Stop
So
it.
we
No,
need to.
don't do it.
We need more land destruction. This guy on YouTube said so.
Just, yeah. Land destruction. No, thank you.
All right. This is probably gonna be the most controversial one between you and I.
Oh, boy.
It's a red counterspell
Mm.
with chaotic effects.
Mm.
So for 1 and a red, we have Tybalt's Trickery.
Mm-hmm.
So instant for 1 and a red, I'm getting ahead of myself. Counter target spell, just any spell.
Which breaks color pie for me.
Yeah. Then choose 1, 2, or 3 at random. Its controller mills that many cards, then exiles cards from the top of their library until they exile a non-land card with a different name than that spell. They may cast that card without paying its mana cost. Then they put the exiled cards on the bottom of their library in a random order. So we have a fuck. We have basically a fuck you, and then they come in and say no fuck you, and
Well, they might.
Well,
is the
yeah.
thing. Is this spell also does kind of rely on the fact that they might whiff.
yeah, it either might go squeaky or it might go thunk.
Yeah, it might be something really big problem. I think personally, countering a spell in red seems sacrilegious. I know that there's like redirection spells, but straight up countering it, ugh, seems out of the color pie. Because I mean, okay, listen, there's exceptions. I mean, obviously, like there's that green counter spell. There's the whole Gruul.
Green has a counter spell.
Isn't there a green counter spell?
Oh yeah, that's the one. It's that green red hybrid one.
Yeah, it's a Gruul. It's a guttural.
Guttural rule. I think
Guttural growl or something. Yeah, I don't remember what it was, but it sort of
This.
breaks. Yeah, exactly that one. It breaks color pie, but it's only for blue, which seems kind of natural, especially when when you consider the fact that Gruul kind of struggles with counter spells a lot. This is basically like just the counter spell. It's like, no, stop countering my stuff. It feels a little different. This is like, I counter your spell, and then I'm gonna fuck the top of your library until you find something that might be the same as what I destroyed. Or what got countered, I guess. It is technically destroyed, I guess. It goes to the
The
graveyard.
reason why I both like and dislike it. Like, I like it because it can be chaotic. Like, oh no, we have 1 good card, 2 good cards, 3 good cards into the graveyard that I need, but then right off the top you get, oh, actually that solves my problems.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
With that, we now went into I think now I'm a lot more in depth with red. I feel a little bit like more connected with red in its fiery passion. Go check his channel out. Links down and below, obviously. Subscribe to him. He's a good guy.
Stand up.
If you want to see more content like this, hit subscribe. Hit the like button. No, like button is over here where I am. Join my Patreon if you want. It's nothing big, but go join that. Magi-Corner complete.
We did it.
And we did it in one piece.
Wow, that was fun.